In this video, we're going to create our own custom splash image for the HackRF PortaPack, and we're going to do it just like a hacker using Linux. Alright, now perhaps the coolest part about this is that I'm going to show you how you can do this without taking the micro SD card out of the PortaPack. Yes, you heard that correctly. So let's open up the terminal. First and foremost, I'm going to create a directory to store the contents of everything that I am working on in this video. I'm going to call that directory Splash. Let's go ahead and cd inside of Splash. Now, if you don't know this, you're going to be able to find all of your various images that are used for wallpapers and just the desktop in general. You're going to be able to find those inside of user, share, backgrounds, and we have a ton of different stuff inside of this directory. You have a directory that is actually called Kali community. So if I run the ls command on that directory, you're going to see that we have a bunch of different PNG images. Sometimes all it takes is the right explanation from the right person, and suddenly something that felt complicated just starts to click. And that's actually why I have been spending a lot of time on Brilliant. You see, most people don't struggle with programming because it's hard. They struggle because nobody taught them how to think in code, follow the logic, and solve things step by step. That's what I really like about Brilliant. It genuinely turns you into a better problem solver. Now, personally, I've been spending a lot of time with their Thinking in Python course, and how appropriate since a lot of the tools on Kali Linux depend on Python. You should check it out. One of the things that stood out to me about this course is that you're not just memorizing Python. You're actively working through problems and building intuition for how code actually behaves. Brilliant adapts to where you are. It pushes you when you're ready, and it reinforces understanding through interactive problem solving. You don't just learn Python, you become more confident in how you approach problems in general. To learn for free on Brilliant for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/fresh forensics, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in the description. Brilliant's also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. Thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. So there are a lot of different images here. I kind of just randomly picked one. I'm going to use the open command to actually open up one of those many images. This one is referred to as Green Kali 2025-4, followed by the dimensions. So if we open that up, that is what it looks like. I just like the color of green that it uses, and this is going to be our image that we're going to use for this demonstration. You can actually see over here in the left hand side, you can see all of the other images, and there's a lot of them. Very cool. The main thing is that we want to make sure that, just like with the wallpaper in use right now on our system, this portion in the center, the logo and the words, we want to make sure that we get that in the center. So first, I'm going to copy this particular image over to my Splash directory using the cp command. Copy it to my current directory, which is the Splash directory, by specifying a dot. So now if I run ls, here is that image. I'm going to keep things on the simple side, and we're going to be making use of the PortaPack Splash editor. All right, so I'm going to come over here to the button that says upload image, and I'm going to navigate inside of my Splash directory. We only have one image inside of this directory as of right now, so that's easy enough to find. We open up the image, and there we go. So there's the image that we're going to use, and this is why I'm choosing to use the Splash editor as opposed to using convert commands from the command line, because we have to deal with the black space on the top and the bottom, and it's very easy to do that with the Splash editor, because all we need to do is zoom in, and we can zoom in until we have no more black space on the top and the bottom, or until we have very little. And then I can also kind of shift the I can shift it around a little bit, and I want to try to keep the logo and I want to try to keep the logo and everything in the center. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit, which might produce just a very small amount of black on the top and bottom. But I'm doing this so that I can fit everything inside. I want to fit the logo and the text in the image. So once I am satisfied with this, I'm going to click download BMP. Here is the newly converted image right here. And if we open that up using the open command, that is what it looks like right there. So I'm pretty happy with that. We do have a very, very small border on the top and the bottom. I don't think that that will even be seen once we actually get it onto the device. All right, so now that we have the image created and converted, the image needs to be saved as splash.bmp, and it needs to be in the root of the SD card in order for it to be used as the splash screen when you start the device up. And this is the thing that separates this video from probably all of the other videos that I've seen on YouTube when it comes to this topic. And that is that we are not going to be removing the SD card from the device. So if you guys have seen the previous video that I did with Jeremiah of All Trades, big shout out to him for doing that with me. We got a big laugh in that video over the fact that I made a common mistake that apparently a lot of people make, and that is that I dropped the micro SD card down into the shell of the PortaPack.
Son of a man, I knew.
And interestingly enough, as I was creating this video, one of the devs for Mayhem commented on that video and said that that they have in fact done the same thing, and then went on to say that that is why they created this thing that is called SD over USB. So the PortaPack is connected to my system, and if I run the ls USB command, this lists out all of the devices that are connected to my Kali Linux machine via USB. Interestingly enough, the PortaPack shows up under OpenMoko as a Blackmagic debug probe. In any event, it is connected to my machine. It's in the off position. You don't need to worry about what position the switch is in. It could actually be in either position. It doesn't matter. So right on the same page of the splash editor that we used to edit the actual image, you can see that there is a link for what is called the Mayhem Hub. I'm going to open that up. Now I'm using Firefox, and this does not work for my Firefox web browser, but this is the Mayhem Hub. I need to open this up inside of Chrome. So let me do that real quick. All right, so this is my Chrome web browser. For whatever reason, this does not work inside of the Firefox web browser, so therefore I am using the Chrome web browser. So I'm going to paste that link in, and we are back on the Mayhem Hub. You can see that it has already recognized the device, and our HackRF is connected. And you can even see what is being used as the current splash screen right there on the device. So you're actually seeing a live view of the device. So this is kind of allowing you to share the screen of your HackRF, which is pretty cool in and of itself. And right here down below, we are actually seeing the file system of the SD card. So we are seeing the entire contents of the SD card, and if we go all the way down to the bottom, at the very bottom, you see we have a file called splash.bmp. We're going to delete the current splash image by clicking on the icon for delete file. We're going to click the icon to upload to root. We are uploading this image to the root of the SD card. And I am inside of my splash directory. If you want this to be the image that you see when powering on the device, you need to make sure that it is called splash.bmp, and that you are uploading this image to the root directory of the SD card, which is what we are doing. So I'm going to click on splash.bmp, and finally I'll click select. And you can see that it is uploading it to the HackRF PortaPack, and the upload has completed. Alright, so the upload has completed, right? However, I don't see the file showing up in the file system for the SD card. Now, physically looking at the device, I see that it has recognized it. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but let's see if you can see that. Yeah, so you can actually see I still have it plugged in. So it is showing the updated image on my physical device. However, it is not yet showing that through the web interface. That's not a problem. I will just close out of that session, and I'm going to navigate back to the same page, and we are essentially just establishing a new connection. And now you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that our image is on the screen. Doesn't really look very good over the web interface, but it looks very good on the actual screen of the PortaPack. So as you can see on the SD card itself, we have at the very bottom in the root directory of the file system is our splash.bmp image. And this is the process. It's actually very simple to do. As you can see, we had absolutely no issues in doing this. And the most important takeaway from this, once again, is that you can do this without needing to remove the SD card. You don't need to touch that thing at all. You can do this without needing to remove or reinserting the SD card. That will allow you to avoid, amongst other things, potentially damaging that pin inside, or doing what I did, which was dropping it down into the shell device.
Son of a man, I knew.
Check this out. Now this is, in my opinion, this is very cool. So I'm gonna run sudo dmesg with a -w. This is gonna keep dmesg open and running, and I'm going to plug the PortaPack back in. And you see we get some information on the screen there, and you see that very last line. That very last line on the screen is very important. When you see CDC ACM, you see over here USB ACM device, that is telling you something very interesting. This lets us know that the PortaPack, when plugged in via USB, it presents itself not just as a storage device, but as a communication device. And it actually creates a point in the file system referred to as TTY ACM0 that allows you to establish a live connection with this device. That is actually how we were able to just access it the way that we did through that web portal. But you don't need to even do that. If you know what you're doing and you're familiar with Linux like a real hacker would be, well, when you see that information on the screen, then you know that you can use something like screen. We're going to run screen with sudo privileges, and we're going to reference that path in the file system, dev tty acm0. I'm going to specify a baud rate of 115/200, and I'm going to hit enter. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We now have a live connection with the device. And if I type help, we will get a list of all the commands that have been made available to us. One of those commands is called SD over USB. So I'm going to copy and paste that command, and watch what happens when I do this. I'm going to hit enter. The shell we just had is immediately terminated, and we now have enabled this thing called SD over USB. And now if I run ls blk, we have something new that didn't exist prior to this, and that is this right here. So what that just did for us is it enabled the ability for us to now mount the file system of the SD card to our Linux file system, and we can traverse the file system of that micro SD card straight from our command line on our Kali Linux machine. I'm gonna bring over my file manager to the screen again. Now over here on the left, you can see that the micro SD card is now available to us. That is what that did right there, that SD over USB. Man, big shout out to the devs for making this possible. Now we are going to click on that. That is going to mount the micro SD card's file system to our Kali Linux machine's file system. What do you see right at the bottom? There's our splash image. You can interact with the file system straight from the command line. So if I run ls-blk, you can see that it has been mounted to the file system. Here is the path location to that. So I am going to cd inside of that location. And here's the file system. And once again, here is that image. There is this wonderful thing that is referred to as the PP Splash Image Gallery, or in other words, the PortaPack Splash Image Gallery. And it allows you to basically download these pre-created images that fit the dimensions for your PortaPack. And there are some absolutely incredible images available on this website. You might recognize some of these. We have some images that have been created by some very well-known YouTubers that have managed to reach a level of success far greater than the one that I have reached, such as Talking Sasquatch. He's got a couple of the images that he uses on his PortaPack available on this page, and you can download them and use them. Let me give a quick shout out to the Talking Sasquatch for reaching out to me and sharing some advice with me, because I just unfortunately received my first ever YouTube guidelines strike, and Talking Sasquatch shared some information with me that actually helped me out a lot with that. So big thanks to you, buddy. I appreciate that.
I fell in love with the command line glow. Black screen, white text, that's the life I know. No tabs, no noise, no browser above. Just me in the terminal, command line love. Cursor blinking like a heartbeat slow. Oh, every line I type makes the system flow. Oh, they throw errors in my path, but I ride.